Hello, everybody. Seems we are live. All right, excited to be with you here today on this live stream. Always love doing YouTube live stream. Looks like we have a lot of people showing up. This looks like 132 when I'm looking at this. All right, today's stream is going to be amazing. I don't think you have seen as good of a stream this week for sure. This is my goal, to make this the best stream you have seen this week. It's going to be really, really incredible. I have a presentation for you that I did a couple of weeks ago to a group of over 1,000 designers, and they got amazing results. They were so excited about this. I was like, we have to put this on YouTube so that everybody can watch this. So I'm super, super excited. All of you, I can see the comments. I'm not going to look at the comments for right now, but we're going to have a presentation. I think it's going to be like, we're going to be here for about 1 hour. We're going to do some Q&A at the end, and it's going to be super, super cool. So I'm assuming you can see me well and you can hear me well. Let's jump right into it. Let me share my screen. Okay, so today we have a presentation. It's actually the first time that I'm doing, it's not just one live stream, it's a series of 3 streams. So today is part 1 out of 3 for people who just want to get started with freelancing. So I know a lot of people right now are in this crazy situation. Some people lost their job. Some people lost clients. Some people are thinking that their job may be not as secure as they thought it was. So they want to get started on freelancing. They want to build this muscle. They want to build this opportunity of another income stream that's going to help them eventually maybe go full-time. But right now, just getting started, just build that confidence, just get that first client, and we're going to give you here everything that you need. So let me jump into here. So here's my goal with this 3-part series. I want to help you get your first client. I want to help you build all the processes and understand everything that you need in order to serve clients. So we're going to talk about everything from pricing, proposals, client relationship, all of that stuff, so that you can have the confidence. And I want you to motivate you to take the action. I know how scary it is sometimes to do some of the stuff that I'll cover here. So my goal here is to motivate you, give you the confidence, show you how it works, show you that I was struggling as well and I did the exact same steps and it worked for me. I know that it can work for you. So that's what we're going to do. So here's basically the outline of how these 3 sessions are going to go. And by the way, if you're not subscribed, it's a good idea to subscribe now so that you'll get notified on the next session. If you're watching this after I live stream, there are probably going to be in the description a playlist for all the sessions. So today I'll talk about my story. I'll share how I'll get started. I'll show you some horrible work of mine. We'll talk about how to get your portfolio in the air, like super practical, what you need. If you don't have a portfolio, you'll have one by next week if you'll take action on what I'm teaching you today. And we're talking about how to find your first client. So it's going to be super, super actionable. If you're going to stay to the end, you'll have the exact steps of what you need to do next week to start getting clients immediately. Okay? And we're going to build you the confidence to do it. The next session is going to be on Thursday, so there's already a YouTube thingy for you to put a reminder on it. We're going to talk about pricing. We're going to talk about proposals. We're going to talk about negotiation, everything that's kind of money related. We're going to talk about this in Thursday. Hopefully by Thursday, if you're going to start taking work, well, I don't know if you'll be able in 2 days, but you'll start getting leads immediately, and I want to give you the framework to how to talk money with them. And on the 3rd session, which is going to be next Thursday, we're going to talk about what clients value. We're going to talk about how to deliver good service. We're going to talk about how to communicate with clients, how to manage finance, and how to take this freelancing thing and make sure that you can do it full time. By the way, I see that you can't see my face, so now you can see my face. Isn't it better with my nice face on the slide? So you can see there's a lot of emotion going on here. It's important for you to see the emotion. All right. So here's the thing about this, and now I can say this with 100% that if you put in the work on what I'm going to show you today, you will get a paying client. I don't know if you're following me on Instagram. If you're not, you should probably be doing this, but I've shared the results of some of the people that were in the group when I did this presentation, this one guy from Colombia got 15 leads in 1 week, taking action on the advice that I gave here. And there was another woman who got closed the client, but after getting also 10 leads and closed one of them, all within a week, because they were taking action on this stuff. So pay attention and do the work, okay? If you do the work, this works. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to work. So here's the problem. Look, I know you're watching me right now on YouTube, so I know you watch YouTube, okay? Maybe you're watching my channel, maybe you're watching The Future, Christo, maybe you're watching some other design-related channels. But here's the problem, and I'm part of that problem. A lot of times, we give you expert advice, and that expert advice is build your network, build your brand, do value pricing, be a high value consultant. And all of that is super expert thing that is really, really difficult to do if you're a beginner. Actually, what you really need is somebody to just show you the basics, step by step, get you to do the fundamentals correctly, and so that you can get started. You'll get to the expert things, but the expert things, if you're getting started with it too early, it's just going to confuse you. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to that, and let me share a personal story. So part of this quarantine stuff that we're stuck at home, I decided to buy an electric piano so that I can learn how to play, and I can learn with my son as well. And we started learning together with this app that teaches you how to learn the piano. And straight ahead they're telling you how to read the notes, and so they're teaching you the theory. And one thing that I noticed is, right, I can read notes now, I can read Beethoven, but there's no way that I'm going to be able to actually play this correctly, because there's a difference between theory and actually putting it into practice. And I feel it's exactly the same with design or freelance advice. I know you can listen to all this value pricing, all this high-end expert advice, but you can't really take action on this because you still need to get your basics down, build your confidence on the smaller things before you can move into the more advanced stuff. So there's, I don't know if there's kind of a misconception that you can get started from zero to get into super professional millionaire or whatever with zero, with one jump. But most likely, and at least I know that's for sure, it happened to me, I had to go through all of the steps in between. So I didn't just start it out from zero to hero, making six figures and all of that kind of stuff. I worked with shitty clients. I built website for $100, $50 logo. I did all that stuff, and that helped me on the way. So we're going to try to make your journey faster, but that still doesn't mean you don't have to start at the beginning. So we'll talk about the beginning. Now, here's the thing. Ego might be the thing that's blocking you, because maybe a lot of the things that I'll say today, when you'll hear me say it, you're going to be like, yeah, I knew I should have probably done that. You knew you should have done that, but you still didn't do it, okay? Maybe it's your portfolio that's not live yet, and maybe it's not reaching out to people who can become your client, and that is because your ego is trying to protect you from failure, protect you from rejection, protect you from what other people are going to think about you, right? Oh, but I put up this portfolio, but it's not perfect. What are other designers are going to think about you? But you have to realize that you're not in competition with anybody. Right? You're scrolling on Instagram or on YouTube all day long. You see all these amazing designers and you think, oh, I need to be better than them, or at least as good as them. Otherwise, I'm not qualified to, put my work out there and charge for my work and all of that stuff. But that's completely not true. You're not in competition with anybody. So it's the ego. It's your fear of being mocked or being rejected that's actually stopping you from progressing. So part of what I'll try to do today is to tell you, put that ego aside, do what it takes. Don't worry about other people judging you. Nobody really cares. I know I don't mean to sound mean, but nobody really cares about you, okay? So you just do your own thing and worry about yourself. Okay, so as we said, there's like expert advice, and a lot of it talks about, building a brand, building a network, but you have to realize there's things that you need to do in the short term, and there's things that are long-term play. In the short term, if you want to get clients next week, you need to do whatever it takes to get clients, okay? You're not going to have magical clients drop out of the air just because you've posted, one nice post on Instagram. You need to do whatever it takes to get clients. And you need to start building confidence, because if you don't have the confidence, you'll never be able to charge the high prices and, build yourself as an expert if you're not starting small. You need to have a portfolio online in the short term. If you don't have that, that's blocking you from starting, from at least getting the ball rolling. And on the short term, you need to have some testimonials. So have some successes, early successes, even if those are small successes, even if those are not amazing clients, even if they're not high-paying clients. Having those things matters a lot and will facilitate growing you and helping you start working on the long term. So on the long term, you do need to, build expertise and niche down and build a network and build a brand for yourself and get consistent clients and increase your prices and all of that stuff. But that is stuff that takes time, and that is stuff you don't need to worry about it this week, right? Right now, be focused on getting the ball rolling. Then after you have the ball rolling, start thinking about the long term. And again, the long term takes time, so you should be doing this, but don't worry about this right now. And don't be confused between the short term and the long term, between the beginners and the the things that you need to do later on when you're more of an expert. Okay, so I want to share my story with you. I think it will help you see that, I'm not some innate genius. So this is me back in 1999. Oh, I was such a nice and sexy high school kid. So these are my earliest kind of dabbling into design. And obviously, you can spot my genius in there. I mean, you can see that I was always super talented, born with, the magic touch of a designer. I'm just kidding. You can see that I pretty much sucked. I was looking at, drawings online. I was trying to do all that stuff, and you can see that I'm trying to do the shadowing right and all of that, but I pretty much sucked. Then I had kind of a epiphany. I don't know how to call this, but I got a recommendation on this book that's called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. This was really a phenomenal book for me because like 4 weeks after I bought it, I could draw what you're seeing on the right side, which is at least a little bit more realistically. So this book was really phenomenal. It actually taught me how to see and how to look at things differently and how to better draw. So what happened, and I'm reminding you, I'm back in high school when I'm reading this, I started to do these drawings and I started to paste them on the wall of the classroom. And, that's before we had Instagram, we had walls on the classroom. Before we could post something on social network, we actually posted it on the wall, like a physical wall. So I used to start posting my drawings on the class wall, and some people actually started calling me, the artist, because he's the one that's drawing. And because everybody saw that I was drawing, some people were like, and I started playing around with, the graphic software, Photoshop and that kind of stuff. My friends from class started asking me, hey, can you design my logo? And back at the time, there was, forgot the name, IRC chats, back at the very early stage of internet. And so I started doing logos designs for my friends. And as you can see, I didn't do just one logo. I did 4 directions for the client to choose from. And as you can see, back at the time, I actually put a credit on the logo. So I wrote by Jander, which was my kind of a nickname, online nickname back in the day. And I started doing this for my friends. And as time went by, I started doing kind of a little bit of an illustration for my friends and just actually doing work for free. Now, mind you, back at the time, I'm a high school kid, so I don't really need to get paid, but I'm actually starting to help people and gift them and give them all these kind of things. Now, here's what actually happened. I wasn't really thinking about this, but this is basically what happened. With every project that I did, I built my skill because I was doing another project. I was doing another design. I was doing it again and again. And every time you do something, you're practicing your skills and you're getting actually better. Another thing is I started practicing working with people. So that was the first time ever that I didn't just, did something for myself kind of as an art. I actually started to get feedback from people. And trust me, people don't care that you're doing them a favor and that you're doing something for free. They will still say, oh, but I don't like the blue. Can you make this different? And so that was my first experience actually getting feedback from people and see how that feels and see how to communicate why I think something is a good idea or a bad idea. And it got my name out there. Again, I wasn't thinking about this. I didn't know anything about marketing, but now I'm looking back and I'm connecting the dots and I'm seeing what I actually did was to get a lot of people to know that if you need something that is design related, you're going to talk to Ron. Okay, so that's basically what happened. And actually, that helped me to land my actual first paying clients, which was a father from a kid from my class, and another friend of another father, and one of my neighbors, and a father of my girlfriend. Now, mind you, none of them were a good client or high-paying client or anything. For most of them, I was working for pennies. Most of them didn't value design or knew how to give me feedback, but those were my first project, and I was in a way fortunate to get working experience. So every project that I did, again, I got better at my skill and I got better at managing feedback and having some kind of a process for the design that I'm doing. And I've started to build confidence because it doesn't really matter that they're not paying you a lot of money at first. What you see is, hey, I actually did this. I actually delivered it in a reasonable time frame. So now I know, how long these things take me. Hey, this actually proved valuable for them. They're using this website and they're using this design and it's valuable for them. So you get confident about you being able to deliver good work. So that's basically my story, and we'll continue with my story into the portfolio, and I'll show you my first portfolio. So this is my first kind of professional portfolio, and at the top, you can see the top two lefts are websites that I did. The top right one is actually a 3D project. That's actually the first freelance project that I ever did. Back in high school, it was some kind of a biblical shrine that I basically modeled in 3D. So those were kind of three projects, and on the bottom you can see photography and you can see drawings. Now, this isn't a good coherent portfolio. You can't see focus here. Obviously, you can't see very much good design skills, but it's something. And this portfolio actually helped me to land multiple jobs by just showing them that I have some experience and I did something. Okay? So it is important to have something. Okay? And today, there's no way that you're going to work with somebody and that somebody's not going to look you up online to see, have you done something in the past? Who are you? Get kind of a sense for you. So portfolio is basically a must. Okay, it's very difficult if you're not like super, today maybe I can get hired without a portfolio, but getting hired initially without a portfolio is very, very different. Now, I encourage you to put a portfolio on your own website versus opening up a Behance or a Dribble account. And there's a few reasons for that. First of all, you want to own your own domain, okay? Because people are either going to look you up and they're going to search you maybe on Google, or people are going to ask you, what's your website? And you probably, you want to tell them, my website is myname.com or something like this, rather than telling them, oh, go and Behance or something. That's really kind of, when you're talking this out, sounds much more professional and positions you as somebody who's doing this for pay and not versus a hobby or something like that. Now, the second thing is when you have something on Behance and Dribble, which is not always a bad idea, by the way, but we're not going to talk about this right now, you can't really control the messaging, okay? Because you work within a template and it's their template. When you have your own website, which it's okay if it's built on a template, but you can control the messaging. You can change how it looks. You can change how you present yourself, because you need to remember at the end of the day, your website is a sales tool. That's the reason that you have it there. It's not just show my work, it's show your work and, get people the confidence that you are the right people for them. And people are not only hiring based on the quality of the work, they're also hiring based on who you are, why should they work with you, and that kind of stuff. And to be able to communicate all that stuff, you need to control the website. And of course, when you control the website, you can create things like calls to action, which basically is, here's how you contact me, here's a button, click here, and make it easy for people to use it. Okay, let me do kind of a break, drinking water for a second, and you can tell me in the comments how you're liking it so far. You're enjoying? I hope you're having a good time. All right, let's continue. So what should you have on your portfolio? So initially, I'm back. Yeah, all right. You want to have something between 3 to 5 works. So again, that's not that many, okay? And it doesn't have to be client work. Let me go back. So 3 to 5 works. It's not that many. If you have client work, that's great. If you don't have client work, do some projects. Do some projects for fun. Do some projects, for free, volunteer or something like that. But you can put at least 3 to 5 of them. That's enough. Now, you want to have a photo of yourself there because, as I said, people are hiring you, okay? People are not hiring a generic design skill or a portfolio. They want to work with a person, and so you want to have a good photo of you there. If you can have a nicely taken photo of you, that's preferable, but in this week, we're not going to have any excuses, so any photo will do, okay? You're not going to wait for that professional photo. Nowadays with your photo, and you can blur the background and you can use all that kind of fancy stuff to try to improve the photos. So just make sure that you have a photo of yourself and make it easy for people to contact you. Don't hide that contact button. Don't hide your email. Don't hide your phone number, whatever it is you put there. Just make it super visible. And then basically link everything that you have where you're communicating with people, whether it's your Facebook, Instagram, whatever you have, link everything there. So now everybody that's checking you out or doing some kind of research will be kind of funneled into your website and going to see what you want them to see. Okay. Again, if you don't have 3 to 5 works, start creating for fun. One of the things that I'll challenge you to do after this live stream is to start doing things every day. Okay, give yourself some kind of a challenge. This will be a great way to put yourself out there. This will be a great way to improve your skills, and this will give you something to put on your website. So just starting to create. It can either be your art, or again, it can be for your network. You can tell them, I'm a designer, how can I help you? Or you can go into your favorite foundation or nonprofit and start offering to help them even for free as a volunteer. That will give you great experience with both doing the actual work and working with a client. Okay, for those of you who are technical, let's talk about setting up the website. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you probably heard me talk about Webflow so many times. However, I'm not going to tell you to set up a Webflow. I mean, if you want to, and if you know how to use Webflow, that's amazing. I have a Webflow website. But if you don't have the tech skills right now, I don't want you to have any excuse why you don't have a website. So you can go into Wix. Wix is free. Wix is easy. Pick a template, upload your work, and have it done. Now, again, my goal here is that you'll be able to start working next week. It doesn't mean that this is going to be your website forever. Doesn't mean that you will always need to improve. I don't like working with Wix or any other kind of template based, but it's just for getting started. So my goal here is no excuses. If you don't have a budget, you can't spend $10 for your website, go to Wix. They'll give you kind of a free domain, they'll give you a template, just do it. Okay, but no excuses. If you do have like $8 per month or something like that, I suggest you go to Carbon Made. You'll be able to, connect your domain, which you can buy for like $5 per year. So it's rather cheap. It has like really fancy and nice looking templates. So if I would be kind of like, what's the easiest thing to do when I can afford to pay like $10? I would go with Carbon Made. It looks super professional. If you want to save up and do kind of your own hosting, you can use WordPress. It does require some technical knowledge. So again, if you know how to set that up, do it. You can buy a template. You can use some kind of a builder. Do it yourself. However, don't get into something too complicated. Okay, just set it up. And again, kind of a medium effort. If you know how to use Webflow, you can build it. If you don't want to host with them because it costs money, you can export the code. I also did this with my first Webflow portfolio. I've built it on Webflow. I've exported the code. So I just literally paid like $16 to be able to export the code, and then I canceled my subscription, and basically I got the website done for like $16, and I could have hosted on my own hosting, which is like, I don't know, it's $4 per month or something like that. Again, if you know, don't start learning Webflow right now, because that will just, you should learn Webflow, but don't let that hold you back. Again, my goal here is to drive you forward really, really fast. Now, here's the thing. If you've wasted or invested more than 3 hours and you still don't have a website, then you're doing something wrong. Again, I'm encouraging you to go with the quick and dirty, put something out there, right? If you have clients and your website doesn't work, we can talk about maybe improving it. But right now, nobody's even looking there. So why are you, hesitant of putting something out there? And like most designers I know are like, I know I should put my portfolio out there, but I'm struggling with it. And again, the struggle is usually the ego. So take that out of the way. Okay, let's talk about finding your first client, because now you have a portfolio, you spend that 3 hours, you have something on the air. Let's talk about how to get them. So basically, there's 3 things that need to happen for people to hire you, okay? First, they need to know you. Obviously, they can't hire you if they don't know that you exist and that you do the work. So the first thing is, they need to know about your existence. The second thing is they need to like you, because nobody wants to work with an asshole, and nobody wants to work with somebody that they don't like. Okay, after all, and I've said this before, people are hiring you not only for your skills, they're going to be working with you, so they're going to hire the person. And so they need to like you. The last thing is they need to trust you. Okay, maybe they know you and maybe they really like you, but if they don't trust that you can do a good work for their business, they're not going to give you money to do it. Okay, so they need to trust you. So those are the things that need to happen. And basically everything in sales and marketing is basically how to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. That being said, I want you to take a second and think, who already knows you, likes you, and trusts you? Put that down in the comment. I want you to write in the comment, who knows you, likes you, and trusts you already without you having to do anything. All right. Yeah, so you're right. It is your family. It is your friends. It is your schoolmates. It is your neighbors. It is your community member, church member, whatever. It's basically what you would call your personal network. So think about this. These are people who already know you, already like you, and already trust you. That means that they are currently the highest likely, the people with the highest likelihood of actually hiring you. Okay? So those are the people that you currently need to talk to. So instead of going to people that don't really know you, and then you'll have to convince them to like you and then convince you to trust you. You can already talk. Those are kind of the lowest hanging fruit of people that can immediately either become your client or recommend somebody else that can be your client. Now, the thing about them recommending somebody else is that when we recommend someone to someone else, basically we're kind of transferring the trust. Okay, so if I'm going to say, hey, Alex, you should hire Bob. Bob is a really, really wonderful guy. Then immediately Alex likes Bob and trusts Bob because he likes and trusts me, and I kind of transferred that credibility to him. So those are the people that either are going to hire you or they're going to refer other people, and by doing that, they're going to refer the trust and the trust basically and the likeness to other people. Okay, so here's basically how you do this. You're going to write to them or talk to them, and you're going to say, hey, I'm available to do design work right now. Is there anything that I can help you with? Or do you know anybody that can benefit from what I'm doing? Okay, and here's how to do this. So first of all, it's best to do it one-on-one. And by one-on-one, I don't mean that you physically need to be in the room with them. I know that we're specifically right now where some of us are on lockdown, quarantine, that kind of stuff. But what I mean here is I see sometimes people publish like a general Facebook post, hey people, I'm available for hire, please hire me. Now the thing is, when you publish something like this, it's very impersonal, and like when I see this, even if I like this person, I feel like because he said it to 300 people, it's not my responsibility right now to answer him or help him out. But when you talk to somebody one-on-one, and it can be one-on-one, in a message, okay, in a Facebook message, WhatsApp message, whatever, you can talk to them immediately. They're in a conversation with you, so they have to reply. Okay. Now, specifically during this time we're recording this lockdown 2020 coronavirus, you need to be empathetic because a lot of people are going through tough times right now. So it's not just like about help me, give me work and that kind of stuff. Maybe they have their own problems. So try to be empathetic. But one thing is you don't need to start with small talk. Okay, you don't need to. So how are you doing these days and what's going on? And it's kind of like bullshit for like 30 minutes. And then at the end of the call, you're like, by the way, I'm doing design freelance now. Do you want to hire me? Do you have something in mind? Because then it kind of gives people the feeling that you were fake up until now just because you wanted to ask something. And people don't like this. Okay, so these are people that already like you and trust you. You can hit them up and say, assuming that you're in a good relationship with them, you're gonna look, dude, I need some help. Do you have something for me? And people appreciate that. People don't mind. People like, people that like you and want to help you. They don't mind that you ask them for help, but at least you're not trying to, bullshit them or, lie to them or something like that. Now, the next thing is if they don't have anything they need help with, ask them for introduction. If they have somebody that's working or that might need or in some kind of an industry that might be hiring, ask, hey, can you introduce me to that person? Maybe he needs help. Maybe I can help them out somewhere. So intros are very, very helpful. Now, whatever they tell you, always, be grateful. Thanks for keeping me in mind. Just be grateful, because remember, first of all, these are people that are in your network. So basically, you also care about them. So you don't want to be kind of a jerk. But this is a long-term game, right? We are trying to get clients immediately, but these people might not have something right now. Maybe they have something next month or in 3 months. It's good that they know that you're even in business for this kind of work. So you want to be on the good side. Now, I know that reaching out to people is hard, but as I said, these are people that know you, that like you, that want to help you. Okay, so they would love to talk to you. Even if they can't help you, they would love to try. Okay, so don't feel bad about this. Just do this. And again, I'm telling you from the results that, the group of people I did this presentation to, these people were sending like WhatsApp messages and Facebook messengers, and that was the biggest lead generator for them versus, going on other platforms and all of that kind of stuff. Because think about this, at least few hundred people, besides your family, your friends, everybody that you went to school with, everybody that you're in a community with. If you've worked, you have past employees in different, co-workers, all of that kind of stuff. So there's actually a lot of people. You can start really hustling on this thing. So I remind you, the reason that you're probably not doing this is because you're afraid of people rejecting you. You're afraid of people thinking, oh, he doesn't have a work right now. He's a beggar. He's a whatever. I don't know. You're being afraid of people judging you. You need to put this aside, and you need to do whatever it takes to get started. Okay? Again, you're going to do this in a friendly way, in a good way, but don't be afraid or discouraged by people telling you no. I'm not going to tell my whole internship story right now, I think, but, there's probably a video on it on my YouTube channel. When I applied to internship, I got rejected 60 times before I got accepted into an internship. A lot of times it's just, a numbers game. You need to put out those numbers and start hitting. It's not like, oh, I talked to 3 people. I talked to 5 people. Nobody needs work right now. Start, putting work and contacting a lot of people. Okay. So the only way you're actually going to do this is if you're going to consider this some kind of a task that's part of your work to do. And the way to do this is put time in your calendar and actually start doing it. Okay? Every day, not just one day a week. Every day, be in contact with people, talk to people. Now, once you've exhausted this, you can consider moving into the second step, which is freelancer's website. So you can open up a profile on Upwork, or, there's remote work website, and I have a video on my YouTube on that, or Fiverr or freelancer.com or something like that. That's kind of second step. Now, mind you, this is way harder because there you're competing with the whole world and you have no advantage at this point. Now, you can still do this and you can still win, and you can still make money, and you can still get started, but this is actually harder, okay? So I really highly recommend you really exhaust option number 1, which is start hustling your personal network before you dive into the freelancing websites, okay? Because there's probably way more opportunity over there. Let's talk a little bit about confidence, because I'm pretty sure that you might find this a little bit either overwhelming or scary or something like that, okay? So I don't know if you feel like me. I like skateboarding because I used to skateboard as a kid, and every time I see this, I'm like, wow, how the hell do they have like the guts to do this? This looks so scary, okay? Which is maybe what you're feeling when I'm telling you to go talk to so many people and all that kind of stuff, and pricing and selling and all of that stuff. But the truth is, nobody really starts like this, okay? This is how most people start. You start really, really small, where the pain of falling down is really, really low, okay? So the risk is actually lower right here when you start like this, okay? So this is how you're going to build your confidence. You're going to start small, okay? You're not going to try to do everything, negotiate value pricing, charge 5 figures, and do all that kind of stuff, be a consultant. You're going to start small. You're going to do it again and again. Remember that swipe left, swipe right, that ninja practice stuff. You're going to succeed with the small step, and then you're going to start, gaining confidence, because you're going to have a track record of successes. It's going to give you the confidence to take bigger risks and do bigger things, okay? Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'm going to talk to a lot of people, and they're going to say yes, and they will say yes if you talk to enough people. Somebody say, okay, yeah, I need something. How much do you charge for this? Don't worry about it for now. As I've mentioned, on Thursday, we're going to have another workshop where we're going to talk about pricing and all of that. But for now, just start hustling. Just start getting the leads. If you have the problem of you don't know how to charge, you're in a good position, because that means somebody's interested in working with you. Okay, so that's a good thing to have. That's a good problem to have. Okay, so here are the action items, and these are the things that I want you to do this week. First of all, start creating daily. Doesn't matter if you do it as a fun project. Doesn't matter if you're helping other people. But you want to be creating. You want to build that muscle of creation and also putting yourself out there. Then get a website up. Again, shouldn't take you more than 3 hours. So assuming, let's say you're starting from scratch, you don't have any works and you don't have a website. Well, if you're going to start creating daily, in 3 to 5 days, you're going to have 3 to 5 works. Okay, so by next week, you should be able to put your website up. Then you're going to start talking to your network every day, put it in your calendar. And in case that exhausted itself, you can start bidding on project, but leave this as a kind of a last case scenario. Now, I'm telling you, 2 weeks ago, I did this presentation. People were getting in the first week 15 leads. That's crazy, but they've put in the work. They've sent, like, I think that woman told me she sent like 400 messages or something like that. But she really put in the work. But she got a client within 1 week. So you need to put in the work, but you're going to see some results. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. Let's jump now into some Q&A. All right. I love it that we have like 450 people in the room. I'm excited for this. All right, so I'll start diving into some questions here. Let me see if Alex, my friend, put in some questions for me. All right, let's see. Okay, so question from Pyriki. How does a person like me, 17 years old, go about getting their first client? Dude, I just told you exactly how I got my first client when I was 17. So you're right now, probably, I'm assuming you're somewhere in school. Start, telling all your friends that this is what you're doing. Start doing stuff for your friends. Probably all your friends have social media. Probably all your friends need some kind of a cool graphic to share, some cool design. Maybe they need personal website, whatever. Start doing stuff for them. All these people have parents. Some of these parents have businesses. So start doing exactly like I did, and you're gonna be on your way. Right, Alexandra, I'm 20 years old. I don't know if I should show my picture on a website because I don't want clients to think I'm inexperienced. What should I do? Hey, Alexandra, but you are inexperienced. It's okay. You don't need to lie to anybody. That's completely fine. Look, you're not going to fool anybody, okay? Somebody that's going to hire you will know that they're hiring somebody inexperienced. Why would somebody hire somebody that's inexperienced? You need to think about this, and you need to twist this around to your advantage. Why do people hire inexperienced people? Why? 1, because they are cheaper, okay? 2, because they are willing to learn and hustle harder than people who are experienced, okay? 3, they're willing to work harder, crazier, maybe hours, maybe hustle more, maybe, I don't know. But new people, like inexperienced people, hustle harder, and you need to switch this around and think about, you need to tell people, I'm just getting started, but I will do my best to make sure that you are winning because of this. And at the end of the day, they're going to be in touch with you, right? They're going to talk to you. They're going to figure out how old are you. So you don't need to lie to anybody. You need to be upfront, and you need to own it, and you need to use it to your advantage. Why do people hire young people? Because they know technology better than old people. I don't know, maybe they suck with technology. Maybe they don't even know what Instagram is, what YouTube is, what TikTok is, what building a website is, because they're old. You're young. You know about the... Okay. Duck, what personal domain name to take if your name is taken? Well, first of all, you can be creative about this. Right now, there's a lot of domains like .design, .whatever, all kinds of things. Maybe you can add a dash. Maybe you can add some words. Maybe you can... One thing that I saw that is creative is if you add the real before your name. Okay, so think about if my domain was therealronsegel.com. That means I'm so famous that people are trying to, impersonate me. So this is the real one, the original. So, be creative around it. It doesn't, but by the way, shorter and clearer should be your goal. So think about how to use your name, but how to do it in a way that's going to be memorable and easy for you to say and easier for them to write. Sheikh, cold email is a good idea to get client. Look, it is possible, but it's hard. And think about this. What does cold mean? It means you're reaching out to somebody who doesn't know who you are, who doesn't like you, and who doesn't trust you. So now you need to overcome all these obstacles. It's just going to be very, very, very hard. Now, it's possible to do it. And there's a professional way to do it. And you can do it. However, it's very, very, very hard. Why would you want to start with the very, very, very hard things? Start with the easy things. All right? Enrique, where to start to get clients outside of your home country? I have a portfolio. I have projects, and so on. So again, I will say... It's in a way similar to Sheikh's question. It is possible right now, you have the internet, you have access to everybody on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on everything. So you can start building relationship and you can start reaching out to people and you can start getting yourself known and liked and trusted by people from other countries. However, this takes time and this is a little bit more advanced. And I want you to focus on, if you already have clients, if you're already making money, move forward to the advanced of getting clients from other country. But if you still don't have clients in your own country from your own network, if you're not building portfolio piece, if you're not building confidence, don't jump straight to the advanced level. All right? Tiago, how to get energy to do things. Sending a new email or anything is just tiring and painful. I'm a good designer. I'm just tired of the profession. I don't know why I lost interest. I love creating things, but work became so boring. That's tough, Tiago. Look, I don't have a good answer. I feel like you should do things that give you energy, and if you don't have energy, maybe that's not something that you should be doing. I think that's the truth. I think you should look for things that give you energy. You don't do things to get energy to do things that you don't want to do. I mean, of course, if you're a professional, you're not going to love doing everything that you're doing, okay? There's going to be some bullshit that you'll have to take care of that sucks that you hate doing. But ideally, you want to have your life sorted out in the way that at least 70-80% of your work is you enjoy doing it, and then you have to do like 20% of crap. But it should be something like that. Nixon, how will COVID situation affect the freelance now and coming time? First of all, I hate doing predictions because nobody knows anything. But what you can know is that it looks like the world is going to a very heavy economic recession. So everybody is going to be impacted. Now, obviously, and I think this is true for almost anything. First of all, it's bad for everybody. It's bad for me. It's bad for everybody. And that sucks. However, in every situation, I choose to look at the opportunities. And in this case, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for freelancers because One, people are not going to want to hire somebody full-time because it's expensive, so they'll use a freelancer instead of hiring somebody for their team. Second, people used to work with big agencies that charge a lot of money. They have less money now, so they're going to hire freelancers instead of agencies. So I do hope that, you'll be able to enjoy some of these benefits if you position yourself right. But times are tough for everyone. All right, Alex, Ron, I have a problem because I live in a small city, so I don't have anyone who is interested in that. What would be your approach? Alex, I wonder, you say you live in a small city, and there's no anyone interested in that. What is that? That is building website, that is designing logos or doing graphic design. In every city, there's businesses, and businesses always need some sort of design service. So I find it difficult to believe nobody needs anything, but it's true that in a small city, my question is, because you're living in a small city, is your network smaller? Do you know less people? Do you still went to school? You still have, past job experience, so maybe co-workers. You still have your family. Maybe part of your family lives outside of that small city. So you still have a personal network. I would ask if your personal network is actually smaller than that of somebody else. I don't know. All right. Daniel, how do you get passive income at the start? Daniel, there is no such thing as passive income. People, it's an internet lie. There is no such thing as passive income. Everything is tons of work. There is, I'll say with a caveat, there is maybe 0.5% of people that, do something, let's say create a template or something, and it just, somebody decides, to promote it, and they just, it's like hitting the lottery. It's not going to happen for most people, and it's like very, very high risk. There is everything else. If you want to create a template and people to buy it, you'll have to market it like hell. And so there is no passive income. Everything in life takes active effort. So yeah, that's it. All right, last question before I'm hitting it off. Abigail, do you have any tips on communicating to potential clients? I get you have to go out there and talk to people, but I don't want to sound really pushy. So yeah, we talked about, I think I've mentioned this right now. You don't have to be really pushy. You just have to talk to the people that you know right now and say, hey, look, here's what I'm doing. Can I help you with anything right now? Or, if you already know what they're doing and you think you can help, you can say, do you need help with that? Or maybe you know somebody else that can, use that kind of a thing right now. Specifically as we're recording this, a lot of businesses are moving from offline to online. So they will need a new website. They might need somebody to help them run social media, all of that kind of stuff. So you don't have to be pushy. You need to offer help, and and hopefully provide value to people who need help. All right, everybody. I think I'm about to call it off for today. We had almost 1 hour, and I hope you had a good time. Next session, I remind you to take action on everything that we talked about today. Next session coming up in 2 days on Thursday. So make sure you're there, put a reminder, hit that bell button, subscribe, all that other stuff. And I will see you on the next session where we're going to talk about pricing, negotiation, all of that stuff. Stay tuned. It's going to be super amazing stream as well. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sticking up until the end. You're the best. I love you. Bye-bye.